Hi, my name is Putri Permata Utari Andini, and I'm from Class B Biology. Now I will explain the reason for my answer to this test. Test is decide the main idea of each text. Is it stated or is it unstated? How do you know if it is stated or unstated? Explain your reason. Text 1. Costs were low that year and the output high. There was a good person for each job and the market remained firm. There were no losses from fire. All in all, it was the best years in the history of the company. So this is the stated text. The reason is because the topic of this text was written directly by the author. The sentence that sums up the whole text is in the text. The red sentence indicates the topic that the author want to tell in this text. Uh, so the topic is costs were low that year and the output high. All in all, it was the best years in the history of the company. So, the main idea of this text is that year was the best year for the company. That is the main idea that the author wants to tell to the reader. Text 2. Penicillin is one of the greatest of the wonder drugs. It has saved thousands of lives already and will save many more in the future. Unfortunately, it has no effect at all on most of the ills of mankind. Penicillin is a very good drug, but it is certainly not cure-all. So, this is a stated text. The reason is because the topic of this text was written directly by the author. The sentence that sums up the whole text is in the text. The red sentence indicates the topic that the author wants to tell in the text. Penicillin is one of the greatest of the wonder drugs. Penicillin has saved thousands of lives and will save many more in the future. Penicillin is a very good drug, but it is certainly not a cure-all. So, from the topic, we can conclude that the main idea is penicillin is a great drug, but is not a cure for all human illness. Text 3. When I was a little girl, I took piano lessons every Monday after school. I walked to Mrs. Seaver's house with my tethered sheet music in my school lunch-stained hands. She taught me the scales, the proper way to hold my small fingers, and the theme song from the Pink Panther. She also taught me much more. From her, I learned the necessity of practice, the importance of patience, and the joy of achieving a goal after hard work. She also gave me the gift of music. All of that I was all of that was learned in a half-hour lesson on Monday afternoons in Hamel, Illinois. So this is an unstated text. The reason is because the topic of this text was not written directly by the author. The red the red sentence indicates the general idea that the author wants to tell in this text. We need to create the sentence that sums up the whole text because it is the unstated text. So the girl took a piano lessons on Mrs. Seaver's house. She Mrs. Seavers is her piano teacher. It is also said that Mrs. Seaver is a nice person because she taught the girl about patience, the importance of patience, and the joy of achieving a goal after hard work. She also gave her the gift of music. So the conclusion is the main idea is Mrs. Seaver is a good piano teacher who can teach lots of good experiences and great music to the little girl. Text 4. Both plant and animal cells are very complex, yet they are very similar when compared to each other. The Venn diagram compares and contrasts plant and animal cells. It consists of cross-sectional cell diagram. Both are explanation of the same concept but use different approaches to visually explain the information. It is interesting that there is so much diversity among living things. Yet if you look at their cells, they are similar. The only real difference between a human cell, a horse cell, and a chicken cell is the kind of genetic information found inside the cell's nuclei. So, this is a stated text. The reason is because the topic of this text was written directly by the author. The sentence that sums up the whole text is in the text. The red sentence indicates the topic that the author wants to tell in this text. Both plant and animal cells are very complex, yet they are very similar when complete each other. So, animal and plant cell is similar, but in the next sentence, it said both are explanation of the same concept, but use different approaches to visually explain the information. So it is similar but different. And in the next sentence, it is said the only real difference between animal cells is the kind of genetic information found inside the cell's nuclei. So, from the topic, we can conclude that the main idea is animal and plant cells are very diverse, but if we look deeper, they have some differences. Differences is the kind of genetic information that found inside the cell's nuclei, or the cell walls, or 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 maybe the organelle cells. So that is the main idea. So that's all for me. Thanks for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.